All right, Kenman here, and today is the day. We've all been waiting for it. We've been asking about it. Maybe no one has. But if you've been watching the videos, you know or may know what looks like about to go on. We've got it set up a little bit different here today. I've got some absorbing towels laid out on the ready. I have a dipping station. I have some drivers. I have a rinse station also off to the side there. Looks like we're going to be dyeing a scale or two on this episode today. Let's do this. Woo! Before we start, I'm not sponsored by anyone, and I purchase everything at retail price, and I do these videos because I love discussing knives and sharing info and ideas with others. If you have any questions or thoughts, please feel free to comment below. Okay, we are gonna go through the knives that I've got on the table, and then we'll start with the one that I'm gonna do. Yeah, let's just go ahead and go from right to left, I guess. This is the Civivi Ferrum Forge Collaboration Odium. What color do you think we should do that in? All right. We have the Ferrum Forge Gent 2.0. This one's one of the ones that's just got it's a solid black blade, so that's going to come into play a little bit with the color choices that we make with this one. Like a few others are going to have some interesting stuff to think about. Here we have the Civivi Mini Asticus with the Damascus. Someone asked about maybe trying to make that Damascus pattern go all the way down. I know in the dye process, the color bleeds out into the plastic. So it's hard to get some tight lines, but I'm going to kind of mess around and see if I can make something happen, because I kind of like that idea to have this just be Damascus pattern the whole way. It'd be kind of cool. All right. We have a new one that I just opened, this button lock Sencut Crowley. Actually really liking this one so far. I mean, I've barely had it, but it's kind of a nice knife. It fits good for my hand. And I'm excited to play around with it. What color? Nice, really brushed, soft gray accents. I'm going to go something really dark, something that pops that goes with that. Who knows? Okay, we've got the CJRB Feldspar. This one has a gold accent on that pivot, which I think is going to come into play. You don't want something that's going to look weird right next to that gold. This knife, I love the handle. It's got this soft, smooth, contoured feel to it. I'm actually really starting to like this knife more and more, as I've said in the last couple of videos. So what color? Go with that gold. I'm kind of thinking a blue or a green personally, but I'm open to suggestions. See what you got. Leave a message in the comments what you think any of these should be. CJRB Gobi. Now look at this. I thought it was red, but it ended up being this orange accent. But man, it's a cool knife. It's got good action. It's very solid. I like the way it feels. I like the way it opens. What color would go good with that? We're thinking that match that Lamborghini that's purple and orange. That's a really cool knife. Okay, we're getting there. We got the ZhengSheng What You Know About This Chef's Knife. Folding chef's knife. Full flickable action. Absolutely ridiculous. Love it. Love it. All right. And we're looking at that Civivi Vision FG. Are we going to put some dye on this? Are we going to put some color on this? Should we? What do we think? Superlock's great. Knife's great. Maybe make it custom. I don't know. All right, but today it's all about the ZhengSheng to start off. This is the one we're gonna do. I'm gonna have to pause you guys for a second while I walk over and hit start on the microwave. There it goes. I'm heating up the dye. The dye that you use works heat reactive. So when you have it nice and hot, it works a lot faster and does better. You can do it cold, but it takes longer. I've done some shaving cream dyes where you're mixing it up cold, but you use shaving cream so that it sits, because otherwise it can run and drain off of the side of the plastic. And so if you want it to sit longer, you can mix the dye with the shaving cream, and it gives it a thicker consistency than it is allowed to sit basically on the surface of the plastic longer, and therefore it doesn't have to be hot for you to get your color. So then you can draw or make some swirl patterns or cloud patterns or something interesting and get that to work, even though you have to wait like 24 hours or sometimes, you know, just to get the color to actually turn out. If it was just room temperature dye and I set these in there, you could leave them in there for hours and they might not really take much color at all. But when we heat it up and it's warm, a couple of minutes, maybe less. Oh, am I getting both sides spinning here? Nope. We're almost there with this disassembly. Ooh, why is that so tight? It feels like that's spinning against that right there. Or maybe I don't have to spin it and I just have to push that out. Well, there's one scale. It's always the worst when you have a blade out. Alright, that loosened it up. There we go. We're almost there. Can you feel it? Ta-da! And that fell off. Who knows where that goes exactly? The world may never know. Alright, is everyone having fun yet? I'm going to take a little sip here. Looks like we're disassembled. We made it to the scales. Fortunately, that one piece fell out. It must be right there. Hopefully I'll be able to figure that out. It's part of the deal. Okay, I kind of pre-made these little hooks, which I should do. Let's get this over here, out of the way. I'm gonna move this more center stage, our little table. Oop, you guys hear the microwave just went off? That means it's heated up, might be ready, might not, we don't know. We'll have to go check. I made these little hooks. So basically that's gonna hook in there like that, and then I can kind of set her down and it can submerge it, but then I can remove it easily. Pretty simple. I just used some wire that I had in my shop. Kind of just made this simple little setup. Now I can easily remove those. The dye is pretty strong. You get it on your hands, you can get a little bit of a thick dye on there and just be stuck with it for a day or two, but not the worst thing in the world. All right, here we go. Let's just look at that for a second. We'll be right back. Gotta get the microwave. Oh, that's hot. That is plenty hot. Okay, move that back out of the way. I don't know if you can tell what color that is. We don't have it boiling, we just have it nice and steamy, piping hot. And let's waste no time. One of the things with dye I know is bubbles are not good. If you get an air bubble on there, that air bubble is not going to take the dye into the piece the same, because there's air sitting on it, so there isn't dye in that spot. So I'm going to go ahead and get these dunked a few times so that they really get moisture on them, kind of keeps it from air bubbles kind of sticking, and then I know I've got a good surface down there underneath the dye. And we are dropped. Okay. Who's having fun so far? Move this aside. The other thing you got to be ultra careful with dye is it is dye. So try to make it so that reflection isn't right there. It is dye, so you spill it on your table, it could dye your table. You spill it on your anything, you name it, and it could end up leaving some color on that forever, and then you're kind of stuck with it. Let's play with this send cut for a minute. So let's look at my timer. We're at 10 minutes in the video. We need to probably wait at least 3 to 5 minutes so we can kind of chat about some stuff. This new send cut Crowley is a button lock. I'm liking it quite a bit. Button lock works good. Fail. Finger flick works nice. I don't think I did it on the actual video, but see, I can fail all day because I'm all sweaty or hot and making sure the video goes good. I don't know. Yeah, so this thing, if you look at the blade play on that, that is solid all the way. There's no up, down, no movement on it at all. Button lock works, like I said, really good. I just managed to be failing on camera quite a bit lately, and I don't really care about editing videos, so I just kind of let it be. I'm fine with it. Hopefully you are as well. I'm going to go ahead and take a little peek. It's probably way early. Ooh, see anything? That is definitely working. Not fast. I'm wondering if I might have to heat it up some more. Hopefully not. I'll have to extend this video, or I'll have to cut it and edit. I'm hoping just to go all the way through and get some live results. CJRB Gobi is another new one that I got. I really actually like these orange accents on here. Very cool knife. Really neat style. It's neat how many knives have kind of gone under my radar. I haven't been like huge crazy, but I always am looking. I'm always shopping. I've always been getting catalogs and stuff over the years and kind of just seeing what's out there. And I don't know, there's quite a few things like CJRB, Civivi, kind of the more budget-friendly prices that, man, they make sweet knives though. Look at this thing. What color are we going to do? Well, we're testing out this purple. If it looks good, maybe we'll do it on here. I used to dye a few other things. I did some disc golf dyes for a while, which is interesting the way that works. But I have a lot of dye on hand, basically. I have a purple, I have a violet, I have another shade of like a, I don't know, it's some type of a fuchsia something, but it looks like a purple. I got a couple oranges, I got a green, a red, 2 or 3 different blues. So I got quite a few different colors that we can kind of work with. I could mix some too, but it's kind of, we're going to have to experiment, just kind of see how they go, how they absorb, how they soak it up. I haven't said on this video, but I have said in some others that the color that you start with is going to affect the final color. There's no way to change that. If I had a bright pink and I added that bright pink to this, it would no longer be bright pink. It would be bright pink and the shade of jade that is in this handle already. So there's no way to prevent that. It's the color that you start with is going to affect it. So a white color would definitely work way better, like the Civivi Vision, because it is white. The color will stay more true to what color the dye is when you start. So that kind of excites me to try to do that in a way, but like I said, makes me nervous. I wonder if I could buy new scales for that and have multiple scales. A little sneak peek. You guys see that purple? I did go ahead and use that lighter one, which now I'm wondering, maybe I should have done the darker one. Because basically the lighter it is, the longer you have to let it sit. The darker one would have reacted faster. If I was using a black dye, it definitely would have hit much quicker. But that's fine. I guess we Can now look at this Asticus again. I'm really liking the way some of the Civivis look. I do like the way some of the Damascus is on their blades. I mean, obviously the pattern on this Vision FG is just silly how cool that is. Just has this just amazing design to it. But they have quite a few different ones. I don't have them all right here next to me. And I know there's some Damas steel and some other steels and stuff that are definitely significantly better when it comes to performance. But, you know, I'm not a rich guy, and there are a lot of budget things that are out there that are actually really, really cool, and I probably will showcase a little bit more of that than the ultra premium expensive stuff. There's a place for it, and I would love to have a little bit more of it in my world, but I also tend to try to be a little more realist, and I don't make $1 million, so to justify my spending, I need to kind of make sure that I'm still also saving and putting away and taking care of everything else first, obviously. But the more and more knives that I handle, like this Ferrum Forge Gent, I think I got this for 30 bucks. Very budget friendly as far as the price is concerned, but it's super fun. It's fidgety, it's cool, it looks nice, it feels nice. I remember 20 years ago, you would buy a blade and they would generally all have play. They wouldn't be solid. They would fall apart easier. All the screws would kind of come loose. You would almost have to put some type of like a Loctite or something on there. Let's get this one out again. Man, that is just, I really like this knife. Someone in the comments, I mean, I don't get a lot of comments. I don't have a lot of followers. It's not super critical as long as the people that do watch are enjoying it. That's really what I'm worried about. But I can guarantee someone's saying, oh, get that Vision back out. He hasn't tried to thumb flick it out yet and fail. Well, let's go. No fail. We did it. I've been doing that a couple times lately where I'm just letting it kind of pop. But the Super Lock is really cool. Sorry, I was out of focus there for a second. My bad. Definitely recommend this knife. Really neat. Okay, let's kind of take another peek here. You guys see what's happening? Now, if we remember, we don't have an exact, but when I had them all laying out, you go back to the beginning of the video. I could take a couple of these maybe. Let me set this over here. Or maybe so we can just see that color of the handle. This one looks different just because I think it's because the black blade's underneath there. It's giving a little eye trickery. So that's kind of the color that it was. I really think it was similar to this one the most. What do we think so far, huh? Do you think that's the same now? Definitely not. How much longer do we keep it in? Yeah, a little bit, maybe not so much. I know this one that I have is really not a dark purple. There's another issue I have, the smaller knives. This little Odium is a cool knife. I think it looks great. I love the style of it. I love how the basically the inner part, it kind of sticks out. The metal sticks out a little bit more than like the scale, so that it kind of gives it that accent. I don't know. It's just a neat looking knife. You can flick it. The hand fits nice on that front choil, but it's just small, and so sometimes I just have issues like this. It's like I don't want to hold it hard. I kind of grabbed it around like this, and then it almost bit me in the hand when I was trying to open it up, and it kind of gets in the way. Again, I have a place for all knives in my world, but I definitely, when you've got one like this where it's just fits in my hand good, sticks out on the end a little bit, I've got a hold of it. It just makes me a lot more comfortable and more enjoying of the actual knife itself. Well, we're pushing 20 minutes here. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to put this back together. I think I'll take it out. We'll take a look at it, check them out. And then I'll put them together off camera and we can have a final product. I don't know, we'll see. I don't want to make this video forever. I don't have a lot of followers and some people probably will tune out. But yeah, okay, so that's what color it was before. I'll take these out. Look at that. I have a little bath just over here. I'm going to go straight into, that's just water. Oh, that's crazy. Oh, you're going to get a kick out of this. I'm going to dip them in the bath first, just for a second here. What's going to do is kind of neutralize any of the dye and kind of rinse it off. If there was a little splotch or something that was on there, it could kind of continue to sit there and leave like a dot. And this way it's kind of rinsing it and giving it an even, you know what I mean? I'm kind of rinsing off the dye so it's not continuing to dye in a spot, creating an uneven color surface. Okay, so look at this. So that's the purple that we're kind of looking at right now. When I flip it over, boom. So that's what it was before. That's crazy how it laid flat in there so it didn't really take the dye on that side. Quite interesting. Just another rinse here. Set that right here. Yeah, I think ultimately I might heat the dye up and put it back in and let it sit in some hotter dye for a little bit longer. And then that should make it a little bit darker. But what this does show us is if you just start slow and you don't have too much heats, you can go subtle. You don't have to go crazy and have it be really hot and have it go really fast. You can kind of take your time, be patient with it, and as long as you're not too rushed, you can kind of, let it sit in there for 15, 20 minutes. And then see what your results are. All right, I'm going to dry these off. Looks like I'm losing a little bit of dye. Maybe these don't take the particular dye I have quite as well. Like I said, this is an experiment, something to test the particular poly dye that I do have. Wow. I'm going to switch to this white towel that has purple on it now. Like I said, I'm an artist. I have lots of towels and lots of stuff. I'm always doing neat little projects, getting things dirty. All right, let's kind of zoom. It's such a light purple. See that? All right, flip it over. Maybe put these side by side. So that's what we got. This is kind of given a little more purple than it was to start because it is purple on the other side and it kind of bleeds through a little bit. But what do you all think of the results of that very first test? It's definitely darker. It's definitely different. Definitely think it could go a little bit longer, maybe get a little bit darker personally. But again, everyone has a shade that they're looking for. If you're looking for a really light blue or a really light purple like this, it's definitely different. The way it was purchased was like this. The only ones that you can get look like this. None of them look like this. So regardless of the change, how subtle it is, someone else might be like, oh, it's quite a bit different, which it is. I was expecting to get it a little bit darker, but I understand, I'm going to need it to be nice and hot, maybe let it sit a little bit longer with this type of material. But all in all, success. Once we get that back on here, I think it's definitely going to look different. I am going to stop right here though because the video is getting long and I don't want everyone to fall asleep. Maybe you need to go get another drink, get another snack, and tune into the next one. Leave in the comments what you think, if you have any more suggestions on other colors of the other knives. And I don't know, I'd like to get to a point where I could do something like this live and then maybe have some people watch while we're going. We could talk about it while it's happening. It's kind of one of those things where there is a little bit of downtime in cases like this. And it's a moment where you could then have some discussion, get some feedback from you guys, and it would be kind of interesting. So if anybody's interested in trying to work out a way we could do some live dyeing, I would be interested in trying to find a way to do that for you. But yeah, stay tuned. I've got several videos coming up. Obviously, we're going to dye all of these, so several dye videos in the future. Like I said, if we want to try some live dye videos, that would be really fun. I've got some other projects with the Bowie knife and the Buck 119 and that Swiss Army knife. Lots of neat projects. If you're interested, please hit that like button, subscribe to see more. It helps me out and I really appreciate it. Stay sharp and we'll see you next time.